Greetings, traders. Welcome to Stock Market Technical Analysis Daily for Tuesday, April the 20th, 2021. Glad to have you on board. This is the time where we look at stock trend to determine what's the direction. I was thinking about this as I was running from my shower to here. The great deal of traders, we spend the time either second guessing ourselves. I mean, the goal of the so-called technical analysis is to be able to look at a chart, yeah, and figure that, hey, what is the current direction? And for some of us who live to take advantage of the short-term momentum, the so-called news or anything is reflecting on the chart, right? So I'm going to try to look at as many charts as possible on here. Um, Based on the recent trend that we have seen yesterday. Yesterday, on our watch list at here at Successful Trading, we have at the list, I posted it at some point. There were the first 15 stocks. The first 15 stocks that were moving were all on the put direction. When you go to the chart, look at it. Some of them driven by news or whatever. We have a market that has been posting all-time highs. Yes, plenty of stocks. The trend, and I will show you a very simple indicator. You look at the chart to say, oh, this thing is trending down. Just visually. It doesn't require some of the hoopla or multiple indicators that some traders do spend the time on. So that's my plan here on this morning stock market technical analysis. Before I do that, I'm going to say hello to some of the folks, all of the folks inside of the live chats on here. We have Mr. Joe. He said, good morning, everybody from Tampa, Florida. Well, good morning to you from Southern California. Good morning, Mr. Bishop Gates, JD Snow. My sister, Miss Festus, good morning as well. Let's us get going on here. So hopefully I'm sharing the proper screen. Let's make sure on here. Let's just dive really into it. Well, we can take a look at SPY very quickly. SPY, QQQ, IWM, as you know. Those, okay, the trend here, if I look at these charts, how will I fancy the direction or figure out the direction, right? The yellow line, I want you to, from now on, if this is your first time here looking at the technical analysis on the chart, it's the indicator of momentum. What if that direction of the yellow line is pointing upward? Guess what? Tell yourself that that stock has a more probability of going up than anything. And you see it through any type of chart, and you can look at it through any type of timeline. If that yellow line is flat or declining, like here, yeah, well, chances are the stock's going to be coming down. Now, the other variable that come in by how much it goes down or something, that's fine. That's fine. That we can figure out. We have techniques on here. Some of you're familiar with our tiny strategy on the ATR technique to be trying to figure out, okay, by how much a stock can move. But this support line here, we use how many? Natural support and resistance line. So the upper Bollinger is here. They have the upper, they have the lower. We have the exponential moving average 8 and 20. And then this volume weighted average price, it's available when the market opens, because then volume is being traded, and then that can, the trading view chart here can infer what that is. But other than that, really analyzing stocks through the eyes of, I want you to make it a simple exercise to say, oh, okay, where's the momentum going? This momentum here, for instance, since the beginning of April, up and up and up. Now, where's that momentum going? Over the last 4 days or so, you see that the price each day, they tends to be within a range. So meaning that that's uncertainty. We don't know that here. We have been bullish, obviously, from a long-term perspective, but on a day-to-day on here, we don't know. Today, for instance, QQQ is starting at 337.74. That's 1 point below where it closed yesterday. Yesterday, it bounced off of a natural support, yellow line, EMA 8. So that tells us something. That will tell us that, hey, yeah, at the end of yesterday, your homework, you and I homework is, hey, look at this chart to say, hey, if QQQ trade today below that natural support, EMA 8, which is 337.43, the trend is likely going to be bearish for the time being. But we will need that confirmation, and we can do that by setting up an alert on there. Until then, it's just like, it's actually trading here. It's like, yeesh, really, you can only scalp, or you cannot do much better than that. Very quickly, let me duplicate this and go to the other ETF that we like to look at here, the small caps, the Russell 2K. The ticker for that, it's IWM. Actually, I need to figure out why. Yeah, so Russell 2K, IWM, that doesn't gel. Well, QQQ, I don't know as well. So this one here, this is another example of that. What's the direction of the yellow line on this chart? It's flat, folks. Has been flat for the entire month. We are April 20th today. So meaning that we have not had a clear direction on here. This thing has just been yo-yoing up and down on that yellow line. And the yellow, both the yellow line and the green line, they're almost, they are virtually identical. Well, guess what, folks? That tells us that there's no direction. But now, today, we are starting below both of those yellow lines. We closed yesterday above them. We have closed before above that. Then the next day, we started above. So meaning, one day we are down below them. The next day, we are up above the moving average. Okay, now, these two candles, along with the pre-market, if this value is correct, I believe that's correct. In pre-market, I think IWM is trading slightly down like the rest of the market on here at minus 0.36%. So 220.93 is what I'm seeing on my other screen. So that will give us 3 consecutive candles now where we are posting lower values. How do I do that? So I'm looking at the candle on here right now, which that I'm on. It's the candle of April the 16th. The low was 223. Yesterday, it reached a low of 219.94. Let's say 220. So 223 low, 220. The question, do you see the direct arithmetic sequence? What could be the low for today? Could it be 3 point down? But definitely. Then we look at here. Okay, look at the previous lows on here. 218.83. Okay, so that's 219. Seems like definitely a support of some sort. So we can put an alert, an alert here to say, okay, when IWM closes, start trading below 219, we're definitely going to confirm bearish momentum. So that's how you will go about trading something like this. You see what it took me literally no more than 3 minutes under to come up with something like that. So that's exercise. You don't have to worry about waiting for a news to come on. When the news come on, it can only confirm which that sometimes you can have something in a bearish trend or bullish trend, and then a news come and actually invalidate that. That's perfectly okay. That's perfectly okay. And should that be the case, we can trade it on the other direction if we were already on a trade on the other direction. But knowing us, yeah, if you know of anything on how for us we trade on here, when we are in a trade, even if we are convinced, or well, not convinced, we read the direction, you know what we do. We typically hedge, meaning that we are really surprised by a stock veering in the opposite direction, especially if we're carrying that position overnight. So that's the quick overview here of that using the ETF SPY, QQQ, and IWM. As we say that, we welcome Mr. T as well. Good afternoon to you, sir, in London. All right, so so QQQ SPY, they have been on recent high, posting new all-time high, and then yesterday and so far today, the trend definitely, even SPY was red yesterday, though it was very difficult to trade. The end of the day trade did not lend itself to really making money as usual. So SPY, it's and QQQ, they're up there. IWM, it's flashing bearish, folks. It's flashing bearish because this chart here now, if we can put 3 consecutive days of lower lows, it definitely, if it hit 219 today, it could be a goner. So we shall see. So we shall see on that. Other stock that's a move, how do we usually take a hold of them here in this stock market technical analysis? We use this tool called FinViz, where in pre-market you can come in and it's a screener. This is a screener. It's a very efficient screener and very simple. It doesn't have thousands of filters to setting. So we trade options. You select your price above or over whatever that you want to trade. And my suggestion is that you pick stock that have average daily volume sufficient enough for liquidity. So I use 1 million as a criteria. You can adjust it whichever way. And then I can toggle on both directions. Here is on the bearish direction, meaning stock that are gapping down. So we see our good friend here, SPCE. Look at this chart of SPCE and tell me that you're surprised by which that's happening, has been happening over the last 3 days. I mean, we don't have the indicators on the moving average or whatever, but will you have look at this chart and say, oh, well, actually, one thing was certain, right? When it was at 30, because has bounced prior to that has bounced at 30. So when it let go 30, you knew that the trend was clearly bearish. So when a trend is bearish, it's just a matter of um, what else catalyst is going out there, or that's where your news come in. But you don't need to care to worry about that news. You trade that trend, and now this stock is down -8% in pre-market. They will tell you that the news is that a Cathy Wood from ARK Invest, she sold the shares. But I mean, they have so many shares. I mean, selling shares is not an indication that she's bailing out of a position. Especially this one, I believe, was even introduced in the most recent ETF that Cathy would launch, right? The SpaceX. So I'm not sure, but that's how traders. I mean, let me not go there. We just react. Oh, a piece of news come and anything. So as of now, the trend has been bearish. That's what led us to this on here. What else can we see on here? Our good friend Pins. No, that's ping. That's ping. That's not pins. I was like pins. See if pins was there. That okay. Or did I see pins and it moved fast enough? I thought it was pins. No, it's ping. Well, pins pins is a stock that's we talked about a great deal. Oh, here's one. Okay, QS. Could I move this? Yeah, let me move it. Here's the chart of QS. You tell me that looking at this chart, when it was at 40, we did that live on here last week. Yeah, I believe it was Thursday. Live last week, Thursday, when that stock gap, we said, that 40 has been support. So if you took that trade, guess what? It's just continuing now. It's anybody guess where actually it could end. Actually, very quickly, I can go let bring off the chart of QS on here, because those are the type of trade, folks, that any one of us can trade. Any one of us can trade. Here's the daily chart of QS. I mean, if you are into trading stock that are going down, if you are not, I mean, I understand that. I respect you. But, I mean, I thought the purpose of this is to make money on stock that are moving. All right, folks. You tell me right now, look left when you're doing a technical analysis, and find a value what's the next closest value that the stock could go. This clearly looking to $20, because that's where it's coming from. There's no other value. So on one day, on November the 27th, the stock went from $24 to $40. Yeah? Right now, it broke that support at $40 over four days ago. And guess what? It's just a matter of time, folks. Yeah? So you can take this trade. It doesn't matter for, I don't know, expiring in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, if you want to give it a time. You pick whatever strike price as further down as possible. 20 seems to be a target on here. The only question is how long will it take it, or it could even go in the tens, folks, because that's where it's coming from. So for me on here, really, how can we look at this? Those options usually they tend not to be cheap, but if I can really be patient, and you should, yeah, you put in a limit order throughout the day, today, tomorrow, to try to get a good entry for, I don't know, 15 puts. I kid you not. Or at least 20 is $10 away. So 2-3 weeks, 20 or 15 puts on here, because it's a trend. This trend, you don't know where it's going to finish, especially here. I don't see any support here before 20. It takes 3 minutes to do that analysis on there. So QS, for me, I know I'm going to be setting up a long trade on there. I did trade it that last week between Thursday and Friday, and it was good. It was good. The 35 puts, we talked about them on here. They were good. All right. So we were talking about FinViz on how to identify stock that are moving. Stock that are moving in pre-market, they are likely to continue moving during the session. That's what the goal of our pre-market analysis is. So here's a stock that's moving up, KSU. Oh boy, look at this one. Look at this one. $293. Kansas City Southern. I don't even. I think if I've traded this stock maybe once, it must have been like in the 50s. So let me just pinch myself on here to say, yeah, this is not into. This is Kansas City Southern. This is railroad, folks. A railroad company that's trading at 200 something, almost $300. Oh, you tell me why? on what's going on here. As Mr. Macaroni will say, what's going on here? They stock, oh man, it was yours. I remember, I think I traded it in one earnings while back, 2018, 2017 maybe. It was like 50 something dollars. Here it is, 200 something dollars. We don't know what the news is or whatever's going on here, but massive gap this morning after a previous gap. Yeah, this stock that tends to do this type of gap, I mean, because it was super extended. March 22nd, a gap from 225 to 260. Yeah, if you thought that that was well, then this one this morning, 14% to 293. I have no idea what news is driving that, folks. A stock that is moving up here in pre-market 2%. I mean, IBM, we know why, right? So we know why we are in earnings season. So if we come here each and every day, I invite you to do this. So you do the same filtering, but you go to custom, and then you said you want stock that had earnings today before market open and then yesterday after market close, because there are certain stocks that have the earnings before the market open, and some that, most of them, the majority will tend to have earnings after market close. So then that gives you the stock that declared the earnings yesterday in the after hours, and then the one that had the earnings today. So this is the list. So these are all candidates, folks, in terms of gaps that are likely to move on here. Starting today, tomorrow, Thursday, the entire week, right? Each and every day you will have tons of stocks on here. This is nothing. This is just 20. By Thursday, if you do this on Thursday morning and Friday morning, you're likely to have 200 stock on here. So now your challenge will be even greater to see, okay, which one do I go and trade? So what we do on here for us, we have a small basket of stock that we focus on. We have studied them over the years. We call that our earning quantitative analysis, and that lead us into having the confidence to trade them after the earning on multiple days, because the first day definitely they will do something. The second day they are more likely, because more traders now take a look at whatever they did the first day, bullish or bearish. We do not care. We can clearly trade that with our strategies on here. So on this list on here, IBM may be the stock on there, but IBM, I have not had that much luck as not a book mover. But the chart, though, the chart is telling me that, oh my goodness, the chart is telling me, okay, it was a trade alert 2 weeks ago, right? It was a great gains for us on there. So a gangster on IWM is not a bad idea. A gangster on IWM will not be a bad idea. So on the put side, 130, 132, just like we did last time. Yeah, 132, 131 thereabouts. And then on the call side, 140, 141, 142. You can set that up on there. So that's that on there. So here, before we depart, I want so this is if you want to target stock that have earnings. For us, later this week, I think we talked about it. We are eyeing definitely. Netflix has earnings after the market close today. Here's what you can do during today if you want to parlay to build up your money for the rest of the week of the earnings. We can look at intraday trading of Netflix by doing scalping, because typically this type of stock, there will be some type of wahala shenanigans, if you will, leading to other earning, meaning that depending on the setup, right, meaning you will need to read the chart properly, bearish or bullish on Netflix, especially late in the last 2 hours, yes, and then close the position. If you make money on it, close the position, and then tomorrow we will see if it gaps in either direction, and then we trade that accordingly. So intraday scalping on the day of the earning, when the earning happened after market close, is definitely something that we have used on here. For those in our Discord room, I will let you know if I see that setup. I will be keeping an eye, at least one eye, on Netflix, but I'm not so hard on, oh, I need to trade it today, just in case really if the setup happens, because the market is starting. I see a lot of red. I see QQQ minus 0.2%, SPY minus 0.3%, IWM minus 0.3, but a lot of stocks are actually showing red. One of which I will be remiss if I do not show. So let's go back and do here. I want to say everything. Okay. Oops, sorry. Let me just go. I don't want any of these. So not just earnings. So I want, on the bearish side, I thought I saw stock. Yeah, SPC. Yeah, so SPC is down minus 8%, folks. This chart, that's Virgin Galactic. Did we? Yeah, we talked about it at first, right? So here's this chart. The yellow line, the momentum line, if you will, I like that. So from now on, I'm going to be, yeah, well, the EMA 8 is our momentum. So 8 days gives you enough information to form a momentum. It has been pointing down for how long now? Since mid-March. Or end of March, last week of March, if you will. Yeah, so if you decide, you say, oh, this thing is bearish, and then set up a trade on there, I mean, as time has been passing by, it has been posting lower values, you have been making money on call, on put. That's how you go about trading this market. Identify the momentum using a simple indicator like a moving average. It doesn't matter if it's simple moving average or if you use the as we do on here. All right, so hopefully that gives you an idea on here on the what to expect. Again, the week it's very early, so SPC is down in pre-market. QS is something that we saw with a downtrend. And what else? What is the other stock that we talked about? I mean, for us in the trade alerts, we have the watch list, right? The momentum yesterday was on a stock called was it Pen? Yeah, the stock called Pen. And this morning, folks, it was the top stock yesterday. I want you guys to can I show it? Yeah, I mean, there's nobody watching this show anyway, right? So we can show our watch list. People who, if somebody is watching on YouTube, they will benefit for that. So yesterday, all day I was posting. This is the watch list. Let me switch the screen first, so people will say, "Hey, this guy is talking, and he's not showing us." Oof. Okay, I'm trying to switch my screen to my Discord, and I was struggling. Sorry about that. Okay, this is the watch list yesterday at numerous times of the day. I'm not sure. 9:44. I must have another version of it. Yeah, the Pen 90 put were the leading, was the highest mover on there. Yeah, and I did say throughout the day as I was posting them, I said, what do we see? First of all, we did say that this week we were expected to see a lot of movement on our watch list. Why? Because we studied it. Yeah, we study it. We study week after week what happened. We have seen the trend, the tendency that the stock moves even more in average the week following the monthly expiration. So we're not surprised yesterday. This is the list that I was telling you that there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Our list has how many stock? Our list has only 18 stock, folks. Every single one of them were red. The only one at some point yesterday that was green was Netflix. Okay, I've said so much. So the one, my point on here in sharing this screen, some of us, we were trading Qualcomm puts yesterday. My friend Joe, good job. Is whatever happens on Monday, yeah, the momentum, yeah, that pen momentum on the 90 puts, you will see how it will materialize today. Now, obviously, the percentage change here will not be a compound percentage change, but it's the price of the option that I want you to pay attention into. So when for us, you see stock like trading at the option trading at $2 and above or something, we usually start at average of 50 cents. Yeah. So when you see this one today, remember that on Monday it already had more than 300%. So if today it gives this option goes up 200%, that's not just for that. You need to add the 300% from Monday as well. Okay, folks. I hope at least for those in our subscription trade alert, you have been taking advantage of that. I mean, this is our bread and butter. Yeah. If you don't know how to trade it, there's a 30-minute video on YouTube for that. Okay, folks, I need to come back down and prepare myself for a Tuesday that we hope will be very lucrative to you and your account. Thank you, everybody. Have a good trading session. Bye bye.